What happened to the lost tribes of Israel? The answer will depend upon who you ask. Let's see what the Bible says. Deuteronomy 4:27, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. Just a side note, the word for heathen is goy, and the definition is nation, people, usually non-Hebrew people. Deuteronomy 28:64 says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. The dictionary definition of scatter is to throw in various random directions, or of a group or people of animals to separate and move off quickly in different directions. Leviticus 26, and I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Psalm 44, thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Remember Matthew 15:24 says, I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Psalm 106 says they despised the pleasant land and believed not his word, but murmured in their tents and hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord. Therefore he lifted up his hand against them, to overthrow them in the wilderness, to overthrow their seed also among the nations, and to scatter them in the lands. Ezekiel 12, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I scatter them among the nations and disperse them in the countries. The definition of disperse is to distribute or spread over a wide area. Jeremiah 13, therefore will I scatter them as the stubble that passeth away by the wind of the wilderness. 1 Kings 14, for the Lord shall smite Israel as a reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river. Nehemiah 1, if ye transgress, I will scatter you among the nations. Jeremiah 30 says, I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee. Zechariah 2 says, I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven. One must wonder what happened to these lost tribes of Israel. In Deuteronomy 33, there is the blessing of Moses. Let's look at what he said about Gad. In verse 20 in the ESV, it says, and of Gad he said, blessed is he who enlarges Gad. Gad crouches like a lion. He tears off arm and scalp. On a side note, this is a picture of Robert McGee, the man who was scalped as a child by Native American warriors in 1864. 1 Chronicles 12:14, the New Living Translation, refers to the Gadites as warriors. The New International Version calls them army commanders. According to study.com, the tribe of Gad, renowned for being warriors who protected the borders of Israel, camped in military tents for battles. The blessing Jacob gave Gad promised that Gad's descendants would be warred against, but would also be victorious against others. Because of this, their symbol is a military tent. That's found in Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. The tribe of Gad would crouch like a lion, scalp, and live in tents. The following slides are from H.W. Bennett's book. You can read about Zerah and Pharez, the twins, in Genesis 38. The hand of one of the twins came out first, and the midwife put a scarlet thread around that hand. This is the banner or flag for Ulster, Ireland. It contains a royal crown, a red hand, and a Star of David. As the author puts it, why would symbols of Israel's royalty be on the flag of people who have been taught they are Gentiles? It is because they are not Gentiles, but Israelites who have lost the knowledge of their true identity, and the proof is on the flag. Another example in his material is the Royal Seal of Great Britain. It shows the golden lion of Judah, the red lion of Zara, the harp of David, and the unicorn of Ephraim. He also looks at the seal of the United States, 13 stars for 13 states and 13 tribes. That would be the 12 tribes of Israel plus the 2 half-tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. The star matrix is from the Star of David. The eagle is from the tribe of Dan. The eagle is also a brigade banner. The bow and arrows are from Manasseh. And the cloud reflects the pillar of cloud. Genesis 49:16 says, Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that biteth the horse's heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. From the tribes book, it has a list of the Dan people. Among the list are rivers: the Don, the Danaster, the Danaper, and the Danube. The Danube River actually resembles a serpent. While researching online, I ran across this website, Ancient DNA Origins. Their website says, we obtained the DNA of 7 ancient people from the southern territory of Dan and 1 ancient person from Dan's northern location. For a fee, they claim they can let you know which tribe you originate from, if any. They claim a partnership with a company called GPS Origins can pinpoint your ancestry even to the town or city. Well, that sounds very interesting. I would like to point out what this article says. Drug makers are set to pay 23andMe millions to access consumer DNA. GSK, or GlaxoSmithKline, will pay the DNA testing company $20 million for non-exclusive access to genetic data. DNA has been called the book of life. I think we should guard our books closely. Let's look at the stone of destiny. That is the rock that is inside this throne. It's also called the stone of scone. It is believed by some that is the stone that Jacob slept on when he had the dream about the ladder and the angels of God ascending and descending upon it. That can be found in Genesis 28. This diagram is from a book called Symbols of Our Celto-Saxon Heritage. It shows the stone began from Egypt and Bethel to going to Ireland, followed by Scotland, and then England, where it's currently used in coronation ceremonies. The stone weighs approximately 335 pounds. You can see where it would have been carried at some time in the past. Some verses related to the stone are Genesis 28:11, and he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. According to the book, additional references are found in Judges 9:6. And all the men of Shechem gathered together, and all the house of Milo, and went and made Abimelech king by the plain of the pillar that was in Shechem. So according to the book, the stone of destiny was the pillar they were referencing. Also Joshua 24:27, and Joshua said unto all the people, Behold, this stone shall be a witness unto us, for it hath heard all the words of the Lord which he spake unto us. It shall be therefore a witness unto you, lest ye deny your God. Next, looking at the Queen of Sheba, tradition has it that her wisdom rivaled that of Solomon, and that's why she wanted to go see him to test his wisdom. Tradition also says she spent 6 months visiting him. According to a holy book of Ethiopian Christianity called the Kebra Nagast, she left following the Jewish religion. It also says King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba had a child together whose name was Menelik. All that information is not recorded in the Bible, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. You can read about Queen Sheba visiting King Solomon in 1 Kings chapter 10. In a write-up on Google for PBS, it says she was a seeker of truth and wisdom. She traveled on camel to meet him and to test his knowledge with questions and riddles. She brought with her frankincense, gold, myrrh, and precious jewels. According to study.com, Menelik goes to visit King Solomon when he grows up and becomes a man. King Solomon sends him back to Ethiopia with the Ark of the Covenant, and many people believe the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia right now. It's said to be at what's now called the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion. This is what that church looks like. There's something called the Los Lunas Decalogue tablets. That's found in New Mexico. That's an 80-ton boulder with an abbreviated form of the Ten Commandments inscribed in it. Many say it is a hoax. Unfortunately, you're not able to visit the location because a permit is required in order to go. There is a cup in a display case at Dunvegan Castle. On it is the Shield of David. Dunvegan Castle is the ancient stronghold of the Clan MacLeod on the Isle of Skye. The cup, which was a family heirloom of the kings of Ulster, was given to the chief of the Clan MacLeod sometime in the 8th century, according to the book. This is Dunvegan Castle in Scotland. An inscription on the cup is the 15th verse of the 145th Psalm, which says, "The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season." Genesis 49:13, "Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon." As Mr. Bennett points out in his book, even as the arms of the Netherlands feature the uncrowned lion of the brigade or camp of Judah, so also another and much older emblem of Holland was a ship, the emblem of the tribe of Zebulun. It's recommended when you use heraldry to look at emblems, you should look at something that's at least 150 years old. This is the Bat Creek Stone found in Loudoun County, Tennessee. This was found by the Smithsonian in their Mound Survey project. According to Ohio State University, it's written in Paleo-Hebrew, and the inscription is "For Judea." Many say this as well is a hoax. The stone was at the Museum of Natural History until 2001. It was loaned to the McClung Museum in Tennessee from 2002 to 2013. In 2015, it was moved to the Museum of the Cherokee in Cherokee, North Carolina. As of January 2023, no employee of the museum has heard of or seen the stone. So what happened to the lost tribes of Israel? According to PBS, they were exiled to Upper Mesopotamia and Medes, today modern Syria and Iraq. The 10 tribes of Israel have never been seen since. This is a book I found interesting. It's called That's What the Old Ones Say. It's written by Chief Joseph Riverwind. The description of the book on the back has some interesting things to say. The first is from the Choctaw Indians. Their oral history says, Creator spoke to a man named Nuah, telling him to build a large canoe and then to fill it with 2 of every animal because he was going to cover the earth with water. According to the Cherokees, their oral tradition is over 2,000 summers ago, a new star appeared over the land of the Tasalgi, signaling the birth of a child who would become a great holy man. Tisalgi is the Cherokee language. The tradition of the Taino Indians are pale-faced, bearded men covered like turtles in 3 strange war canoes will bring talking leaves to our people. That would be the Bible. According to the Mohawk people, fierce tribes of giants roamed the land doing wicked things. 2 scouts were sent across the river to determine if the giants could be defeated in battle. This was just a sampling of the many treasures that are out there waiting to be found. Who are the lost sheep of the house of Israel? Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.